I'm challenged this morning to do a brief meditation because we have other business, joyful business to take care of. And I planned it this way so I could avoid the topic. I know I say this to you about every Sunday, but it gets harder every week to do this. I spend too much emotional energy and intellectual energy about trying to figure out what to say to you. I don't want to talk down to you. I've always been disgusted with that when I've been over where you are and listened to someone. But then again, I don't want to assume some things I shouldn't assume. So I'll just say, I want to mention 4 things that I believe briefly this morning. Now, with a codicil, that belief comes in a process of discernment. By that I mean we engage an issue, a problem, an idea, and we have to sort it out. In the energy we use as human beings, engaging in meaning questions. What's life for? What's my destiny? What ought I be doing? How do I find happiness? All these big, huge questions. And we have all the distractions in the world. We have circuses and bread. We have toys and gadgets. We have all kinds of addictions that we can involve ourselves in. But discernment is sitting down with the hard questions, reflecting with the tools we have at the moment we have them in the engagement, and look at what's important. Well, here are the 4 things I believe this morning. Check with me next Tuesday, it may be different. I believe in doubt. That's not a play on words. I believe in doubt. Learning begins in an attitude of doubt. Doubt is about seeing something, hearing something, engaging something, reading something, and wondering seriously about it. Its validity, its application. What does it mean anyway? So I believe in doubt. I believe most certainly in failure. Failure and I are a friend. We have been together on several occasions. In personal relationships, in professional situations, in just god-awful scenes that I didn't know I was getting into. I believe in failure. Because from failure, humility is taught. And when humility is really brought into our hearts and our beings as a way of attitude, it's not a putting down of ourselves, but it's a finding a new richness and power in our spirit. Because if we can project and feel and have empathy for another person's struggle, then we've created a bond and we've extended our humanity. And one of the great opportunities of being alive is to broadening and deepening our humanity into such a point that we ultimately lose it, that the ego just goes away, that we're part and parcel of this organism, this mystery, this magic that's called life. So I believe in failure. I believe in doubt, where learning begins. I believe in failure, where humility is taught. And I believe in contradiction. It's just weird. I have loved people, I have known people, I've believed things, and when I learn something else about the same person or the same event or the same occasion, I learn something very different from what I thought I knew. The ability to embrace contradiction is what it means, I think, to be adult, and I think it's what it means to be on the road to wisdom. Because contradiction is what makes life lively. It's what makes it real. You know, we do wars by robot now. We're looking at personal robotic servants. And that's a nice science fiction notion. But the whimsy in life, the magic in life, the laughter in life comes from contradiction. One of the great spiritual heroes of mine in the myths of Native American culture is the coyote, the trickster. And in the old medieval scenes of imagery that we have handed down, I like the court jester, the troublemaker, the one who points out the contradiction, the one who says to the king and to the emperor what a fool they are. I believe in doubt, I believe in failure, I believe in contradictions. Because from an experience of contradictions, you can develop a great taste and appreciation for wonder. Life's liveliness will always surprise you. Now, it can in some very tragic ways. Oh, I do believe in tragedy too. I believe in just being so beat down and so lost and so powerless that all you can say and feel is tragedy. Because that's when the rebuilding begins. That's when all the assumptions we've had about our powers are taken away. That's when we become humbled in life, and then we persevere. See, it's not the beginning of the story that matters. It's the ending of the story that matters. And the ending of the story can always be corrected. From this moment on, the end of our story can be corrected. The tragedy of life is an ability to create compassion, because we can appreciate how fragile this is. This morning, half a world away, neighbors are storming and bombing neighbors. People that are going to have to live together for the next 1,000 years. They've lived together for the last 2,000 years. And the resort now is just to fighting like a bunch of bullies. We're going to make it right by destruction. Now, how tragic is that? But you and I in the world, you and I in history will live through that. Because if you know anything about our history, you know how tragic it can be. And along with all the heroism on one side, you look on the other side, and there are the tragedies and the losers and the evil that was perpetrated in good's name. So here we come back to contradiction again. We come back to doubt again. We come back to knowing a sense of failure. And lastly, I believe in loneliness. I believe in abject loneliness. But we can stand at the edge of the universe and know we ourselves are by ourselves. And you know what usually happens there? Well, few people take their own lives. That's a tragedy there. But a lot of times people learn the value and honoring of the notion of love. Because in our loneliness, we know we have needs. And we reach out. And we make ourselves available, hopefully honestly, with who we are, to seek those sources of love. From other folks. From other folks. And in that love, community can be established. And when community is established, justice is determined. So see, I don't believe in all these positives. I believe in these negatives. That's my personality. That's how I look at the world. Don't come to me with a happy story, okay? I just don't like happy stories. I like a frown. Because I know how precious a smile is. A smile should never be cheap. A laugh should never be fake. It always should be authentic and real. So discernment is an engagement with possibilities. We're trying to sort out from our experiences things that matter and things that mean something. For what? For fun? As a hobby? No. To embrace them. To integrate them in your lives. To learn as we go. And once we're ready to face the hereafter, we go, well, it's done. See you around. Maybe. I'll close my thoughts with what Robert Fulghum wrote or stole some 30 years ago. Many of us know it, but it's pretty good. All of us should have it on our refrigerator. He called it the storyteller's creed. I believe that imagination is stronger than knowledge. That myth is more poignant than history. That myth is more potent than history. That dreams are more powerful than facts. That hope always triumphs over experience. That laughter is the only cure for grief. And I believe that love is stronger than death. Amen.